Hi, guys. Good afternoon, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I'll be giving you my delayed but recent episode review for the most recent and interesting episode of Star Trek Picard. Didn't love it, but I did like it, so I'll explain why in just a few minutes. Excuse me. Now, before I begin, of course, please be warned, like all of my episode reviews, this is obviously a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on Picard by this episode or the previous episode before this one, you don't want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, I wasn't surprised at all that the Watcher that Picard was told about or hinted at was Guinan. What I was surprised with was that Guinan was played by another actress, because she's always been played by Whoopi Goldberg. And, because of Guinan's species, age has never been a concern or a factor, no matter where or when Guinan pops up, which is why she's always usually been played by Whoopi Goldberg. So I was a little thrown off and surprised why they chose a lovely young woman who did a great job playing Guinan to play her. So it was a bit confusing to me, but I guess it was nice to see Guinan all the same, although I was a bit thrown off why she didn't automatically recognize Picard, but then once he started repeating words that she had said to him in the future, and she got nauseous and whatnot from that time sickness thing, it's like, okay, now it's clear that they have a connection, or they know each other. So I was a little thrown off. It wasn't Whoopi Goldberg, but it was nice to see Guinan again all the same. I'm really hoping they wrap up the storyline, and I'm sorry for Rios that he's stuck in with ice. And it was kind of funny to see Rafi and Seven bickering like an old married couple, and how they both said Agnes at the same time when she was telling them how they need to work on their communication skills. But I'm kind of hoping this particular little story or episode wraps up soon, because I would just like our characters to get back together and then focus on the mission at hand, which is figuring out what happened in the past. What did Q do to diverge humanity's fate and future towards that darker Nazi-like future that we saw in the first or second episode a few episodes ago. Speaking of Q, it was nice to see him again, as brief as it was, and it looks like they're confirming what Picard noticed earlier in this season when he first saw Q again after all these years, is that Q seemed different, or possibly ill, like sick or something, and maybe age is finally catching up with him despite being an all-powerful, all-knowing being. Maybe he's got an expiration date too, or maybe he's just sick or something, and that's why when he snapped his fingers, nothing happened to that woman whose head he was trying to get into or something. And then even he noticed. He's like, oh, that's unfortunate and unexpected. Even still maintaining that Q persona, he was still thrown off by it. So I'm wondering if there is something wrong with him, if he's sick, or if he's been affected mentally, if it explains why he's suddenly out of the blue just appeared just to screw with Picard again and fuck with humanity's future. So it did get me wondering what's going on there. Overall, it was an okay episode. It wasn't great, but it was all right. Although I really did like Guinan's overall, what's the term I'm looking for? Overview of 21st century Earth in 2024, which isn't that far away if you think about it. And she totally nailed it, why it's so understandable to be a pessimist in this day and age, especially considering the past couple years with everything that our planet has been through in the entire world. And then, of course, it was interesting to see how Picard, who's from the future, who knows that eventually everything works out, well, hopefully, trying to convince her to stay on Earth, continue watching, or at least continue to be a watcher. Because I guess she wasn't a watcher yet, even though I thought she always was. I'm not sure. And then why the Watcher is the Romulan woman that Picard almost kissed back in the season premiere. And she's not Romulan, but it's clearly the same woman because Picard recognized her. And is she a member of Guinan's species as well? I don't know. That was a bit confusing to me. So hopefully the next episode or two will shed some light for us. But overall, not a bad episode, although I did feel a bit disconnected from it here and there. But not bad. What did you guys think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day and a great weekend overall. I apologize for the delay in this video. It was another long, crazy, busy week for me, but I finally had a chance to watch and upload this review, so thanks for bearing with me. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for watching, and of course, until next time, live long and prosper.